Row for Show Productions presents Brothers Being Brothers, a lifestyle podcast.
It's a problem.
Welcome to the Brothers Being Brothers podcast. I'm your host, Rochelle Hamilton Jr., and I got my guys, K-Rob and Mac Ronay. Oh, wait a minute. Mac Ronay with me.
I apologize. I'm a little sleepy. It's working these 12-hour days got me a little sleepy. I'm sorry.
Hey, man, you good.
Got you.
You hustling, man. I like that. All right, so fellas, say what's up to the people.
What up? This is a Mac Ronay, a very sleepy and tired Mac Ronay. We got a few episodes. We got a few topics to get into today, so let's get it.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. This episode 10 of the podcast, man. Like, we almost done with season 1, fellas. Like, this is crazy. I got something in my heart. Yeah, man. We got 2 more, dog. We got 2 more. All right, man, so we'll go ahead and get into it, man. First thing we're going to talk about, fellas, we already know the George Floyd trial is going on, and this trial has been riveting, bro. I mean, it's been highs, it's been lows, it's been emotional. I mean, I hadn't been able to watch all of it, but the little bits that I have been able to watch, I mean, there's times when I'm not a very emotional guy, but there's been times I've had to literally cut it off because I mean, the testimony is just too much, and seeing the pictures and, you know, some of the video clips, and they've showed videos that we didn't even know existed. I mean, they showed some of the body cam video. Some of the witnesses in this trial have been amazing. Like the female EMT or firefighter, I think she's a firefighter / EMT. Her testimony was, I mean, to me, just hearing, you know, her testimony, and how they did not allow her to help George Floyd when she could basically tell he wasn't breathing. The body cam that they showed of the cop basically telling her to get back. The martial arts instructor or expert who was a security guard, he was sitting there breaking down the video of this cop's knee being on this man's neck. He broke it down like a football coach. I mean, to see this kind of witness testimony has been amazing. And then there's the defense attorney, who a lot of people are bagging on him, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't really like his tone with the witnesses, but I mean, that's what happens in court. So I mean, there's no surprise there. I mean, at the end of the day, dude is doing his job. His job is to basically try to make this dude look as best as he can. But I don't know how you do that since this is on video. Anyway, I just want to get y'all's thoughts on this trial so far. And where you know, kind of get your thoughts on how you feel the trial is going so far. Like I just said, yeah, my bad.
All right, you mean go, Drew? I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, my bad, Mac Ronay. I'll go.
Well, everybody tired.
No, I'm good. I've got energy. First of all, again, condolences to George Floyd's family.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, because
right.
I don't care if it's 10 minutes later, 10 years later, man. Death is not something you necessarily get over. It's something you just learn to live with, you know. Mm-hmm. And secondly, it's heavy. It's extremely heavy. Even how they were showing the little 9-year-old girl who was testifying, and how they wouldn't show that part on TV. And then she had an interview with a reporter I seen, and was talking about the dad and the mom got on there on the interview and talked about how they moved away because kids were acting indifferent with her at school and all of this other stuff. And it's just crazy because a child who says she feels like she's doing the right thing by telling her portion of what she's seen and experienced, it's like being bullied or, you know, made to look indifferent. And it's like, man, the foundation that we're instilling in these kids, man, like, but that's the result of what we see now. Like, that foundation is not new. It's like, for you to think it's cool to put your knee on somebody's neck, that's a foundation thing. That's a foundation. And so it's like, it's a continued cycle that, hopefully can at some point get broken. And then just overall, man, hearing all of the stories, seeing all of this new footage that we haven't seen. I've seen them interviewing a guy who had camera footage that never surfaced until the trial. I mean, what good like restriction he had in his, and whatever he had to like not post those videos to just keep them self-contained, into itself. And I think it's rough. The scariest part for me more than anything is the thought of, will it be a lesser penalty than what it already is? It can't be. Supposedly it won't be first degree murder. It's already second degree manslaughter. It's like, will they lower some of the other charges? Because I know it's more than one charge, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, will some of those other ones get dropped? Like, what the jury look like?
Right.
Is the jury all white, mixed black and white, some other minorities in there? Like, what does it look like? And so, those are the things that that really pose a dilemma in my mind for me, because I, just like everybody else, is just looking for the trial to be as fair as possible.
Right.
And knowing that sometimes that's not even an option. Like, the reality and the hopefulness, I'm hopeful that it happened, but I got enough sense and reality to know that there's a strong possibility that we could see something happen that is opposite of what we're expecting. So to be honest, I want him to serve some time for his just due, because George Floyd is not here. But I'm already prepping myself that it may not be what it's supposed to be by law for the things he committed. So it's a little rough, but at least the trial is now started. There can at least be some closure at some point, because sometimes a trial and actual jury given given their reason for what they pick and all of these other things can actually bring some closure to the family. So it's rough, it's heavy. It's a lot to be said, but in a nutshell, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely agree with everything you say. It is super heavy, and some of the things that stick out to me was the defense attorney, how they're trying to put it on, saying that it's the crowd. That if the crowd wasn't there egging the guy on, and if it wasn't so intensified by the crowd, it would have never happened like that. Like I don't even know how you like start to build a defense around that. Like, I don't even understand what kind of foundation they think that is. Like, what sense does that make? You know what I mean?
Right.
What sense does that make? That'd be like saying, well, I went and robbed this bank, but if they weren't hyping me up, saying, hey, go Mac, go rob that bank, like I wouldn't have robbed the bank. Like, what are we saying? You know what I'm saying? But so that's one of the things stand out, and a big thing that stands out to me. I don't know if it's the same girl that you're talking about, King, but it's a little girl who was recording, and just hearing her talk, man, you can tell like how emotionally affected she is, just because she was saying, you know what, I feel so bad because I kept telling myself there's more I could be doing other than just recording. Like, she felt like kind of like, why should step in between? This is a little girl, you know what I mean? There's nothing she could have done, you know what I mean? But her watching that and her watching this man die, and she's recording it, like she's battling with this internal battle of, I should have been able to do more. But she doesn't understand what recording it, what she did, brought a lot of light. You know what I mean? And got things rolling. So I definitely want her to understand that, it sucks that she feels that she should have done more, and like she said, she wakes up having nightmares all the time about it. And but she did. I think she is a hero for recording it, so we can all see and have a bigger light shined on the situation, so we can see the broad view of it, so everyone can see it now, instead of us just saying, "Well, we knew what happened," and everyone else saying, "Well, no, that never happened." You know what I mean? So I just hope that she gets to someone to talk to, so she can understand like that's not on her. That's not on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even like the clerk, I watched the testimony of the clerk at the was it City Foods?
Yeah.
The place. Yeah. He said he said he started feeling guilty, man.
Yeah.
Because he was like, if I would have never said anything about the fake money, or if I would have never even took the money, if I would have never even been the cashier to say, hey, this is fake or whatever, he was like, none of this would have happened. And I'm thinking to myself, no, bro, if there's no character flaws, then everything is normal. George Floyd does his time if he was wrong or whatever, and then move on, because it's like somebody else is being a thief right this moment, and they're just maybe going to go to jail, but they may not get their life taken for being a way worse thief. Like, I mean, somebody could be stealing the whole car right now, and they just going to be like, hey, come here, and put them in jail. But here this man is, whatever. And then, I know they was trying to use the whole opioid thing, and it's like,
that's And that's the thing that got me, was like, bro, okay, so is his murderer on trial, or is George Floyd on trial? Like that.
Exactly.
That's the kind of stuff.
Always.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing new.
Yeah,
this is not news to us. This is nothing new to us.
Yeah. Right. And it's like, goes back to what we were talking about a few weeks ago on the pod, where it's like every time it's like a black suspect or something like that, or a black person is involved or a minority is involved, if it's a black person, it's automatically, oh, he's guilty. If it's a Muslim, he's a terrorist. If it's a Latino, it's he's got a bad temper or something. They're pulling mug shots, they're doing this, they're doing that. And with our white counterparts, they get the opposite treatment. So yeah, going back to exactly what you said, Mac, absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's more like George Floyd is a criminal. He has a problem, and
there you go.
And then
he deserved it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Or for them, it's like, well, he has a problem. Let's get him help.
Yeah, or the guy that the Atlanta shooter. All of a sudden, the sheriff come out talking about he had a bad day. Okay, but he still got his life. If I have a bad day, I don't go kill 8 people.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really got me, did y'all see the older gentleman yesterday that broke down on the stand? And they basically had to like take a recess. I can't remember what, I think he was just a witness. I can't remember what role he played. But they played the tape back, and I mean, this dude just broke down, like a grown man just broke down and cried. And that got me, because it's like, it just brought to head the emotion and the tension of this trial. And Matt, going back to what you were saying about the young lady who recorded the video, you're right, she is a hero, because had she not recorded this video, she's the only reason why we know what happened to George Floyd. Because without this young lady's video, we would have the speculation of what happened. And 9 times out of 10, we will be right. But this dude, without this video, Derek Chauvin and these other 3 officers, they're walking free right now. They're still on the streets of Minneapolis, basically being able to do what, terrorize people, basically. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. This young lady, in a lot of ways, she helped drive a lot of change, because if y'all remember, this George Floyd incident was a thing that drove a lot of change last year. We saw the NFL finally come out and say Black Lives Matter, after they had basically, blackballed Colin Kaepernick for saying the same thing. We saw these companies come out with all these different statements, and we actually started seeing the effects of real change. People got to see what we've been telling them all along, is that, dude, look, we're not making this up. This is actually happening to us. And it's like Champ Bailey said at his Hall of Fame speech, look, when we tell y'all this is what we're experiencing, listen to us. That's all we're asking you to do, is listen. We're not asking the police to not do their jobs. I mean, if George Floyd was guilty of stealing, okay, arrest him, do what you got to do, put him in jail or whatever, and everybody move on. But at least the brother's still living. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't care that he was paying with a counterfeit bill or he had drugs in his system. This brother he did not deserve to die like this. And this dude was laying helpless on the ground. He's handcuffed. Yeah, he's a big brother, but at the same time, what can he do? You got him in handcuffs. It's four of y'all. So yeah. Going back to what you said, King, I'm just glad to see the trial actually taking place. This gives the family a chance at some kind of closure. Of course, it's no closure like having your loved one back, but you know, at the end of the day, if this is the least that they can get, I mean, you know, let's give them something. But and you know what? That's another thing that really kind of scares me with this trial is sometimes I wonder, is this going to be like the Trayvon Martin thing? Like we thought that was going to be, a lot of us thought that was going to be a guaranteed conviction.
I got one better. I got one more current. The Botham Jean. Botham Jean case. Yeah. Yo, I remember that woman that on the defense, on the prosecuting team, she said she felt like Amber Geiger should have got 1 year for every year of his life. So she was asking for 28 years, and they gave her 10. Boy.
Yeah.
And you know,
you know what? You know what, man, and I don't think that was really race motivated. That whole Amber Geiger thing. I really don't think that was whole race motivated, bro. I think that woman, she did kill the dude. And that's not questioned, bro. And she was in the wrong apartment. I think that was being overworked and exhausted from a job and coming into her shit. I don't think that was like, oh, let me go kill this black dude or this, you know what I'm saying? Right. I think it's a little more to the story, but I don't think that was race motivated.
I watched a lot of that case. Now I did watch a lot of it. I felt like I was, but you got to remember, man, they found those text messages, bro. The prosecuting did a good job, bro. They did a good job with, bro. They found text messages where her and cops were making racial comments during the Martin Luther King parade. I don't want to be out here with these effing ends and all of this. Oh, bro, it was like a whole thing, and it was like more than one time. Like it was a reoccurring thing. Like she had multiple conversations with other cop friends. The one of the guys she was sleeping with.
No, I definitely get that, and I understand. I'm not saying that she's not racist or from those. I'm just saying that this particular instance. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe she did go in there saying, "Man, I'm finna kill this nigga." You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Well, but it just didn't feel to me like that particular instance that she went in there and was like, killed the dude because he was a black dude or he was a target. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm with you. I agree. For me, I don't think it's necessarily race motivated more than the race of who she's seen in the blink of an eye made her react like that. Because if somebody sees me, they may see me as a big black guy. Well, God knows, everybody knows. I mean, you can look at me in this small frame of a video and know that I'm not big. I mean, look at y'all's shoulders and look at mine. I mean, I work out, but they're not they're not that big. I mean, good God. I mean, I wasn't meant to be LeBron James. So am I a big black guy, or is that what you assume because my skin is dark?
Right. Yeah, I see that. I see what you're saying.
Than yours. And Botham Jean was like over 6 foot. I know he was definitely in the 200s.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 175, so I know he at least in the twos, And so it's like, I mean, look at you, Drew, bro. You know what I'm saying? You big Buffington. So it's like, so it's like if people see you and your skin is bright colored skin, but that don't mean the guy don't see you. And see, they see the thing on your shirt and they be like, oh, Superman, he's a hero. And if they see you to look the same, they be like, oh God, here comes this big black guy. Like, dude, is that how she look at it? And I'm not saying that's what it was, but it only makes me think something like that whenever you have a pattern of talking about black people negatively amongst your counterparts and your friends and your coworkers and your little booty buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you're the most comfortable. So it's like, so this is kind of how you feel. So when you go into the wrong apartment and you see a big black guy. So what if it was, Billy Bob there, who was 6'7"?
Which had shot him. Okay.
Yeah.
I see
Hey,
that.
how you doing? Sorry, I'm in the wrong house. I don't even know how this happened.
Okay.
It was a long day. Let me get up out of here. I'm a policeman. Let me know if you ever need anything. My apartment is 2038. I'm sorry, I'm at 3038, but if you need anything, come down and let me know, man. Your name again? You see what I'm saying? But if we see him, and I'm not saying that's what it is, but when you give me reason to believe certain things like that, I mean, our minds can kind of go anywhere. And so,
that's true.
Let me put on my version of what if. You know what I'm saying? Let me throw my.
No, I get that. No, I agree with that. I can, since you laid it out like that, I can see that.
Yeah. And she supposedly was small, so she probably could feel inferior to the big black guy.
Yeah. So she reacted in fear because the dude was black.
Yeah.
Opposed to reacting in a normal reaction with any other color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I get that.
Based on them text messages, one could assume that, because those text messages were pretty. I mean, when I heard some of it, I was like, you don't like black people. I mean, I don't know how to take that, because if I started walking around and somebody went through my phone and see me post a lot of different stuff about somebody, it gives them reason to believe it, because I feel like text messages are a safe place in people's minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, have anybody ever thought about, man, if you ever really want to know how somebody feels, go find their text messages.
Either that or get them drunk, I mean, I'm just saying, a drunk man tells no tales, like the old saying goes.
Hey,
I mean,
what they
sound
say,
funny, but it's true.
Hey, they say you drunk, you think you say and think your sober thoughts, right?
There you go. It's facts, man. It's 100% facts. Yeah, I don't even have nothing to add to that. Like,
man, what a left turn.
Y'all broke that down. Man, but I wasn't trying to be funny. I mean, because it's just true. Like the old saying goes. I mean, kids and drunk people, they tell the truth. So, if you ever want to find out how somebody really feels about you, either make them mad or get them drunk. That's the old saying. But
I think that's another charge, though, getting someone drunk like that.
Yeah. Well, it depends on.
I don't know, man. I don't know the law.
It depends on what you trying to get them drunk for. Now, y'all can draw your own conclusions. And let me just go ahead and put this out there. I don't do that kind of stuff.
Please, somebody gonna do it.
Exactly. Yeah. But we not endorsing that at all, and none of us partake in that. So let me just go ahead and put that out there right now.
No, brothers being brothers said I should do. Nah, pimp.
Nah, bro, we ain't got nothing to do with that.
Hey,
we
look.
analyze it. Yeah, exactly. That's a good part for us to go ahead and transition off of that topic. And man, we gonna go from one heavy topic to another. Fellas, we talked about the DeShaun Watson situation on the last episode that we did. And, the last episode we did, it was kind of just, everything was kind of just starting to take shape with this case. In the last, week and a half, 2 weeks that this has been going on, there have been 21 civil lawsuits filed against DeShaun Watson, with masseuses alleging sexual assault, female masseuses alleging sexual assault. This attorney that has filed all of these lawsuits, Tony Busby, does not have a good reputation around Houston or the legal system. The few notable things that have happened since all of this has come out. Man, where do I start? Okay, so he files all these lawsuits, and he files them basically, I think for a period of like a week and a half, there was at least 2 or 3 lawsuits that he was filing per day. There's a total of 21 different lawsuits against DeShaun Watson right now. And in this particular time period, last week, this attorney, Tony Busby, comes out and says that he's got all this evidence that he's going to present to the Houston Police Department concerning DeShaun Watson, that it's going to, incriminate him in this and that and the other. Within 30 to 45 minutes of him saying this at this press conference, the Houston Police Department put out a tweet and says that nobody has reached out to them regarding this situation. They have not reached out to this attorney regarding this situation, and essentially called this guy a liar. Nobody's filed a report with the Houston Police Department or anything like that. So, draw your own conclusions with that particular part of it. Then there comes the deal of a few days later, the revelation comes out that DeShaun Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, has been trying to get these young ladies' names, because all of these young ladies filed under the Jane Doe law, basically in Texas, where you can file these lawsuits, or you can file charges in an anonymous name. So DeShaun Watson lawyer tries to get these young ladies' names. The lawyer, Tony Busby, tells him no. The one lady's name who they have been able to get access to, it comes to light that they have evidence that she tried to blackmail DeShaun Watson for $30,000 in a consensual encounter that happened during one of his massages. They didn't go into detail about what the encounter was, but that was the attorney's words on it. Then it comes out yesterday that this attorney, Tony Busby, is not going to be turning evidence over to the Houston Police Department because he doesn't trust them and he feels like they're corrupt. So make of that what you will.
Yeah,
so a few hours after that, I'm telling y'all, this is like a movie. A few hours after that, DeShaun Watson's lawyer drops a list of massage therapists who have worked with DeShaun all over the country. Of course, he's a traveling athlete. There's 18 different massage therapists in this list. All of them list their names with their statements. Basically, in a nutshell, all of them said that they work with DeShaun Watson. He's been professional, never made them feel uncomfortable, blah, 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 blah. They even go into detail about the specific types of massages that he likes. And for the people out there that don't understand why the massage thing is a big deal with professional athletes get massages. And especially, for different positions, like a quarterback or a lineman, they get different areas of the body focused on. For somebody like DeShaun, with the way he works out, he gets his glutes, his abdomen, and his thighs worked on a lot. His calves and his feet as well. This is where all this is coming from. So that's really where we're at with this deal. So now that I've kind of taken y'all throughout this little journey, well, I'll give my thoughts on it. I'm going to stay away from the whole victim thing because I don't want to be victim shaming. But I'm on record with saying that, I feel like this lawyer, okay, I'm going to put it like this. These lawyers, these women, if they are telling the truth, they need to get a different lawyer. Because Tony Busby is, he's making them look, not very good right now. And that's really all I'm gonna say as far as the women, because I've never seen a lawyer put things on Instagram, social media. I've never seen a lawyer come out and basically say, I'm reaching out to, or the police have reached out to me, and then the police say, no, that's not true. I've never seen especially in a situation like this, I've never seen individual lawsuits filed like this. I've always seen them where if there's a lot of alleged victims like this, I've always seen them filed as, one, maybe two big lawsuits. I've never seen them filed individually like this. So that's really where I'm at with it. And then, of course, like we said a few weeks ago, if these allegations are true, thoughts and prayers are with the victims. And, thoughts and prayers are with DeShaun as well, because if this is not true, this is something that's going to follow this young man for the rest of his life. This is something that is going to affect him for the rest of his life. This is not even on the football tip, like at all. This is just man-to-man stuff. So yeah, with that, I want to get y'all's thoughts on it, and then I'll jump back in as well.
Yeah, you're right. Usually it's like one lawsuit with 21 counts, not 21 lawsuits.
Right.
One count per lawsuit, which could make one to believe, based on regular understanding of courts and lawsuits and stuff, and not that I'm one, I have a small understanding, but it's like they kind of keep coming. It's almost like day to day. It's like, oh, Brenda, so did you hang out with DeShaun? Should we get on this lawsuit? Or if they're really true, then why is it happening in this motion? And I know that people will say, well, some people are scared, and I understand that, but something looks, it all looks weird. And like you said, I want to be careful not to make anybody feel like I'm taking a side because I'm not.
Right, exactly.
I'm all about right, wrong, and fair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always trying to be fair-minded and a fair person. They say fair exchange is no robbery, and I'm trying to not be a robber. So I'm trying to give everybody their fair just due with this story because everybody has a chance to have a fair word. And I just hope that, that if he's wrong, I hope he can seek help. So still prayers for him, even if he's like right or wrong. Because if he's wrong, he needs help. If he's right and didn't do nothing, he needs prayer for, the help that he still will need to try to bounce back with what could be looked at as a character flaw forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to read something he said when you talked about the presenting the evidence. What's his name? The defense attorney?
The prosecutor, Tony Busby.
Tony Busby. He said, our team has been roundly criticized because these numerous brave women haven't filed formal criminal complaints with HPD. Although we have provided info to other organizations, he wrote, here's my worry. When I ran for Houston mayor against the current mayor, I called for the resignation of the former police chief. I was thus reluctant initially in these important cases to provide info to HPD, at least while the police chief, even though my brother-in-law is a long-term police officer. So Acevedo, Art Acevedo is the police chief. So I guess.
Not for too much longer. He's going to Miami.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he said, Mr. Acevedo has now left Houston for Miami, yet I've since learned that my legal opponent, Mr. Harden, has a son who is on the exclusive command staff of HPD. And he said this on Instagram. People love that social media, boy.
Yeah.
You don't have that much ground to stand on. I mean, you can use it in cases, but like, presenting your case on Instagram is.
Yeah. It's a bad look.
Yeah. And that's what scares me is because it's like, you're kind of doing he kind of look like a scammer a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that stuff people, say like scammer, Instagram or social media scammers, man, you kind of look like one. So for me, this is minus the women and minus DeShaun, just talking about him himself.
Yeah.
Like his movement is that of a unprofessional lawyer.
This dude, Tony Busby, is definitely the Donald Trump of lawyers. Okay, this dude is definitely.
I like that.
Definitely working the social media.
But hold on.
Definitely working his political. Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
But so let me ask y'all a question because I'm not really familiar with all this. Haven't really been keeping up. But so usually, isn't there more than one lawyer when there's such a large lawsuit with different victims?
It really kind of depends.
Do they always go through one lawyer, or is it different lawyers?
It depends. I mean, I've seen cases where one lawyer will handle one big caseload. Then I've seen cases where they may have 2 or 3 lawyers. It really can, each one is kind of different. Just kind of depends on the circumstances.
Well, usually in a case like this.
Usually in a case like this, though, if it's 21 different women, usually you'll see one big case with 21 different counts, like King said. This deal right here is just 21 individual filings, basically. Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. I want to clarify, like King said, we're not talking about the victims. We're not even talking about DeShaun Watson. We're talking about the actions of this lawyer, Tony Busby. So, yeah, the principles.
Oh, man,
principles.
Man, that's
so,
life.
Yeah, exactly. So, it just, the way he's moving just gives me pause with this whole thing, man, because it's just like, bruh, even if DeShaun Watson is guilty, like, dude, yeah. Well, and y'all know I used to live in Houston, and this dude has a horrible reputation.
Track record. Wow.
Yeah, he's got a bad track record in Houston, and I mean, I've read some stuff about him, but I ain't gonna repeat it here because I can't confirm it, and you know, I don't want to go down that road. But yeah, this dude, he's got some questionable characteristics. But yeah, my bad, Drew. Keep going.
Oh no, I was just trying to get the gist of the story. It's just crazy that, like you guys are saying, that he keeps coming up with more and more. It's like he's got victims on standby, and he's like conveying them in on the conveyor belt each day at a timely fashion. You know what I mean? Like it's just everything's so coincidental. You know what I mean? Everything is so. It seems like everything is planned out to the T. If you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's just too. It's too perfect.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. This guy, like I said, this guy reminds me of the lawyer off of The Simpsons in that mall.
Well, and on top of that, man, I mean, I'll give it to him. He's media savvy because he's doing it in a way where he knows the media is going to keep putting this stuff out. And we live in a 24/7 news cycle in society right now. So he knows that if I keep dropping this kind of stuff, then, you know, it's going to make DeShaun look bad. And, you know, me and one of my friends were talking about it. I was like, bruh, like, in all honesty, even if DeShaun is innocent, like, bro, he better start dropping some evidence that says, hey, look, you know, I need to clear my name.
Right.
Because there for a while, you know, him and his team wasn't saying a whole lot, but it sounds like they kind of starting to get their cases and stuff together. Because I mean, over the last few days, his attorney has started to talk a lot. He's started to talk more and more, and he's starting to bang that drum a little bit louder. That, you know, hey, we got evidence, we got this, we got that, we got character witnesses, yada yada yada. So maybe now, as more time has gone by, DeShaun's side will start, you know, dropping more stuff in support of him. But yeah.
So this lawyer, is he going after a criminal case or is he going after a civil case?
That's another thing.
Is he going after money?
There you
Or
go.
is he going after, you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is the thing. I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't going to say it. I'll put it like this: with him going the civil route, because all of these cases are civil. None of them are criminal. All of these now. So let me just put this out here. I'm not saying nothing about the victims. Not saying nothing about DeShaun. I'm talking about this specific lawyer, Tony Busby. He's filed 21 civil lawsuits. On the surface, now I can't say what he's doing, but on the surface, it makes it look questionable. For the simple fact that none of them are criminal complaints. Nobody's filed a police report. Nobody's reached out to Harris County Sheriff's Office, Houston PD, none of that. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Draw your own conclusions with that. All of them are civil, and you know, and with civil cases, the burden of proof is a lot lower, and the guilt look in the crowd is a lot easier in a civil setting. And yeah.
So if you got a bunch of people, if this lawyer is filing for a bunch of Jane Does, who they gonna write the check to? Jane Does?
I have no idea. I've never seen anything like this, man. I have never seen anything.
That's a
like
good
this.
question, because he may be doing some negotiating separately with them. Like, listen,
right?
If I get you something, you only get this. It should be the other way around. Like, no, you get rewarded, and I get my percentage for representing.
I feel you.
I'm glad y'all brought that up because if you remember when this first happened, DeShaun said, you know, before he started filing all these lawsuits, this dude called him and demanded a 6-figure settlement with him. DeShaun turned him down, and that's when all these lawsuits started. Now we got them saying they got evidence that this other young lady tried to blackmail him for $30,000. When he turned that down, she jumped in on the lawsuit. Now, these ain't my words. This is what's already out there in the reports.
You know what's crazy to that is, I mean, when you say a 6-figure number, that's real broad. Because figures start at $100,000 and it ends at $999,000. And let's just say he was guilty and he asked for $100,000. I'm pretty sure he would have gave that up. But you know, if you get closer to $1 million, it may start looking a little more And so I'm not sure, man. Or maybe, you know what? DeShaun is just like, you know what? If I didn't do nothing, I'm not paying no money.
Right.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Exactly. You don't know. And that's the thing with this whole deal. And then there was another, I don't know if King, I don't know if y'all read it. I just came across it the other day. There was a lady who talked to a Sports Illustrated writer. I can't remember the Sports Illustrated writer's name, but you can Google it. It'll pull it right up. She gave a detailed account of a time that she had with DeShaun Watson. And it's not favorable. Her account of her experience with him is not favorable to him. I just put it out there for anybody that wants to look it up. But she did make a note that whenever how did she say it? She did make a note that she had been contacted by Tony Busby. And whenever her and Tony Busby spoke, he basically tried to force her to sign a contract for him to represent her in this lawsuit. Like he tried to pressure her into doing it. So that tells you how this guy kind of moves, how he kind of operates. I won't go into what she said the experience was with DeShaun Watson. It don't look good for him. It doesn't speak well of him. But I will say with all the other accounts that have come out in support of him, her account is like the exact opposite. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, wait. So you said this one young lady from where?
She's a licensed massage therapist down there in Houston.
Okay.
She said she gave DeShaun Watson a massage one day, and she spoke with this Sports Illustrated writer. Now, the Sports Illustrated writers, they said they did all of their vetting of the situation, and everything checked out. I still have my questions about it after I read the article, but that's only because I work in media. So, it really kind of made me kind of, I was like, okay, I have my questions. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so that's really where everything is on this DeShaun Watson thing, man. And again, I just want to make it clear. We're talking about this attorney's actions. We're leaving the victims out of it. We're leaving DeShaun Watson out of it. We're just talking about this specific attorney's actions and some of the things that have went on as a result. So fellas, y'all have any last thoughts on that?
He's just making it real hard on this case. He's just making it real hard to believe with some of the actions that he's taken and some of the routes he's taken. I mean, other than that, it's just making it real hard for me to believe what he's got to say.
Yeah, I piggyback on that, especially, and this is why I think you're making it hard to believe, because when you have representation, that's what we're going to go based on.
Right.
Like, you can't go based on your word because none of the victims are talking. We have one person talking for 21 victims. And when you have representation, you're going to have weird interpretations.
Right, exactly.
So, like, anytime you give me a reason to pause, I'm going to pause. And it has nothing to do with the women. It has something to do with the person representing the women. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I always talk about the representative when it comes to dating. Apply that same pressure to these people that's representing that don't get money if we get paid or not. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, so I think the representation is a slight flaw. And I understand supposedly why DeShaun and his team are quiet, because sometimes talking too much can definitely get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm. And we kind of seeing that with this guy. I mean, that's just,
That's all I got.
Same here. 100% agree, fellas. All right, so let's move on to NBA trades. King, I'm gonna let you take the driver's seat on this one because NBA is your thing. So, all right, so King, all right, fellas. So we're gonna move on to NBA trades. King, I'm gonna let you take the driver's seat on this because NBA is that's your deal.
Well, I like to think I'm more than the NBA, bro. Thanks, man.
Well, of course, my bad. I'm just trying to transition.
Oh, okay, my bad.
That's right, King. That's right, brother. You live your life, live your truth, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, I just wanted to ask one question. We had the I said we. I mean, I wish. We had they had the trade deadline in the NBA this past week, last week, and what do y'all think about the Nets kind of, getting more, a little more firepower, and Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge, especially after they were, LaMarcus Aldridge was released. And, so what do y'all think about it? Y'all think, and Blake Griffin was released too, wasn't he? Yeah.
I think so.
Trade. Yeah, I think he was released because they didn't do no trade. So what do you guys think? You think that they're buying I heard somebody say that they're trying to buy a ring.
I guess you could put it like that, but I think it's more about I just look at it like, we already know they building that team to go at the Lakers, to go at that man in LA, Mr. LeBron James. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you could put it like they're trying to buy a championship, but I mean, if that's what they feel like they got to do, if they feel like it takes to beat LeBron, I mean, to me, it's just like, I don't know. All I know is that with the moves that they made, and I keep hearing everybody hype up the Nets, it's just like with me and the Clippers last year. Like, I just want somebody to beat the Nets. Like, I would love for it to be the Lakers because I love LeBron. I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a LeBron fan. But now I just want the Nets to lose because I'm tired of Stephen A. and all these cats on TV. And I love Stephen A., but I'm tired of hearing them hype him up.
I'll say this. I'm coming from a different angle, and this literally popped in my mind. Would this be the second time that somebody says Kevin Durant has been on a
super team?
Yeah, super team that has seemed like it has intentionally become a super team in order to win. Because, Stephen A. said he made the weakest move by a superstar, and now he's on a team. They get James Harden, and then I don't know if he sent a few texts like, "Bro, come on through. I pay you a little bit out of my check. Don't worry about it." I don't know what he's saying, but it could make that argument. Not that I'm trying to make it, but I mean, it looks cool. I mean, but you know what? Let's say the Lakers don't make. Let's say him and KD stay hurt, and they just be like, you know what? We'll come back next season. Bro, the Jazz are still a burden right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, the Jazz is still the best team in the league. They're a burden.
Yeah.
They are a burden right now.
And you still got the Nuggets. You still got teams and squads like that.
They picked up Aaron Gordon Jr.
Man, that's my dog. That's my slam dunk champion, man.
So yeah, for me, I just think it could be looked at that way, but we'll definitely see what happens. And I'm excited. I mean, the Lakers got John Drummond. We can see if he's going to be an asset for him.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask the question though. Wasn't at one point LeBron was trying to get KD over to the Lakers at one point? Didn't reach out to him? I
don't know if that was ever confirmed. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Kawhi.
Yeah, it was Kawhi. That's who it was. It was Kawhi.
I thought it was KD too, because I think KD was like, why would I want to play against you, not with you.
Well, I think
I want to play the good one, you know what I mean? But I guess what I'm trying to get to is like stacking teams has been around for the last, I don't know, few seasons.
It's been around for a while. I mean, it's been around for years. I mean, you can stack a team through the draft. I mean, I guess this era of stacking teams is guys just teaming up, and you got a lot of old schoolers that don't like that. They don't appreciate that. And if you listen to like a lot of sports talk, they'll say, "Oh, LeBron, you started the super team." Da, 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 da. I mean, I guess you could say it. I guess you could say that, but I mean, stacking teams is nothing new. I mean, it's just back in the old NBA, they just did it through the draft, and I don't know how long free agency's been around. In the NBA.
I'm saying, like, why now are we saying, okay, well, they just trying to buy a ring? Isn't that what everybody's trying to do?
Well, no. Yeah. I'll say, well, you got to remember, like the Lakers team, all those cats were drafted when the Lakers were winning. Like most of those cats were drafted. So,
right.
And I think even Boston team, like they were drafted in the Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, like those, like the Bulls. I mean, think about it. The only trade that they made, and they picked Rodman off free agency. I think that was a free agency pick. And the first set of Bulls, if they were trading people, it wasn't Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen.
Oh, you going back?
Yeah, well, I'm going back before the Bulls. I mean, we talking about the Pistons, the Lakers. I mean, but think about the teams that Jordan played against, the Knicks. Most of those cats were like, and the thing I think what's even the biggest argument, especially like for some of these people, is how much of friends these guys are in the NBA. Like Barkley and them talk about how he's like, bro, I was never Shaq's friend whenever he's in the league. Now, when the league is over, they may be. But like these cats, they may be texting each other on Tuesday and they got to play each other next Thursday. And then, they may not text the next week because they playing them. But then after that, they texting. I mean, you see how much interaction cats tweet when they watching other games. Like when somebody get dunked on, they be like, "Oh, yeah, LeBron, I like that dunk." And I think some of the old heads be like, I would have never congratulated him on dunking on somebody else because he's not my teammate.
Right.
So I think the art of how friendly the camaraderie is amongst the players is what I think is why they call the teaming up so different.
Right.
Like now, because players can control, they always talk about it. NBA is the one game where players can control the narrative a whole bunch. Bro, Harden got to go exactly where he wanted, bro. Like it wasn't like that back in the day when you got traded. It was just like
you go where you go, yeah.
Sometimes it's like that with lesser talent players. Like Harrison Barnes got traded, and he found out from like I think news or
he found out in the middle of a game.
In the middle of a game, yeah. So, but James Harden didn't find out in the middle of a game. So he's able to control those narratives, and he was like, he want to play back with KD. So, I mean, what makes him do that? Because he could have been like, you know what? Send me to another team and let me start a new franchise and let me show you how to win. But no, he don't want to do that. So it makes them think that they make the competition like one-sided. So everybody's going to beat everybody 100 to nothing.
Well, what I want to see, what's going to be interesting to me with the Nets is, a lot of people already have them in as, penciled in for the finals. Some of them have them penciled in for the championship already. I ain't ready to go that far because I remember James Harden with the Rockets. This brother he would be hot through the regular season, playoffs. He would get cold. Kyrie, he has his, I don't know what Kyrie's doing. 1 minute he's ready to go. 1 minute, one game he's hot. Then you won't see him for 4 or 5 games, and then Kyrie, he's like a ticking time bomb. You don't know what this brother's thinking. We already know what KD is about. KD is a sure thing. I ain't worried about him at all. But I'm interested to see what that chemistry is going to look like with James Harden and Kyrie being there, because both those cats, both those cats.
Oh no, well, I came front. The chemistry has been good because James Harden is playing the point and Kyrie is playing shooting guard, so he can.
I mean, it's good now. I'm talking about when the playoffs get here.
I agree. Well, also, my thing with Kyrie is he keep taking these personal leaves of absences. How many of these do we get? Listen, they don't get that many at a regular job. Why does fool get that many?
Hey, you don't know what that man put in his contract.
Maybe that
I take as many personal leaves I want to.
Well, that's one of the things that brought the Clippers down last year, because a lot of people was secretly upset with Kawhi because he was getting those what was they calling it, load management, because he was getting that. Basically, the team was catering to him, and that was one of the things guys were secretly upset about that. And it came out after the season was over, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm anxious to see what's going to happen as time plays out.
But I don't think they catering to Kyrie. I think Kyrie is just on cloud.
Kyrie just doing it, yeah.
Kyrie is on cloud 38. He played 12 games. He'd be like, family leave. Excuse me?
Yeah.
But yeah, but the difference is I know he probably getting docked those games. So if they want to pay some of those contributions to Brothers Being Brothers podcast, we can go national syndication. Tell them to holler.
Yes. Right there. Them holla at us, man.
We're gonna put it up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put that right up there at the top. You know what I'm saying? Make checks payable to Brothers Being Brothers Pod.
Huh?
But All right, fellas. So we'll go ahead and get to the last one because this one, we kind of took this one long tonight, but it's all great. Keys to the Kingdom.
Oh,
Macronay.
Keys to the Kingdom. All right. So, I guess you get ready to go out to the grocery store in the middle of the night or the middle of the day or wherever you go, or whatever time you get it and go to the grocery store. You happen to go to the produce aisle. You see some fruit laying there, grapes looking delicious, scrumptious, So you just decide to go ahead and pick one up and take a bite out of it. So what my question is for the Keys to the Kingdom is the produce section, is that samples or is that stealing? What are we doing?
Free samples?
Is that free samples or are we stealing?
Man, well, to me, I don't believe it's stealing, but I don't think it's free samples either because I don't sample the fruit when I.
You can't have both ways.
Nah,
you can't say it's not stealing.
This is the thing. That produce ain't been washed, and people have been touching that stuff and standing over it and talking. When you talk, you have the unexpected miss, and on top of that, we still in COVID. So, everybody don't be leaving wearing masks. Now, I wear my mask when I go to the grocery store, but not everybody does. So for me, nah, man. I mean, for me, I just risk it.
For the sake of this argument, we post-COVID, or we pre-COVID, however you want to look at it.
I don't do samples. I don't. Okay. That's just me. I don't do that.
I get you, because that still is a little germophobic.
But I could see how people believe it's free samples, and I'm not gonna say it's stealing, because if I sample something and I buy it, then I already paid. Technically, I paid for it.
Yeah, but if you don't buy it, then what?
Well, if you don't buy it, I got a quality test. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got to stretch my money. So, I got to see if I'm getting my money's worth. You know what I'm saying?
You need to see if that grape is worth.
Yeah. Man, grapes is high because I eat a lot of grapes. Grapes is high, bro.
Yeah. The good ones, if you go in that organic route, you know what? I ain't going to lie. I'm that person that ain't going to do it because I just feel like I've always been, and has nothing to do with being black. I just feel like I'm going to pick the day to do something like that. And then shoplifter.
Right.
Right.
So, I just be chilling. If I'm just trying to figure out if it's the good grape or not, maybe I'll try to do some research first. But no, I know a lot of people think it's free samples, but for me, I don't mess with it.
Yeah. But if somebody does it, I mean, I see people do it all the time. I ain't gonna say nothing. But
that's not
definitely. I see it. I see it done all the time before. I used to do it all the time until I started selling my own stuff and becoming an entrepreneur and being business minded, and I would want nobody picking on my shit, my stuff.
You good? You good?
I wouldn't want, because that's product. That's profit and loss. Even though it's one grape to us, that's still one grape. Everybody come in, and there's 100 people coming in. That's a lot of grapes.
Yeah.
And
I love grapes. I love them. Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily just talking about grapes, but I done seen bags of Doritos open in the middle of the aisle. I done seen sandwich bags open in the middle of the aisle. People probably make whole sandwiches in the grocery stores.
Bro, I'm telling you, I used to work a second job at Walmart. I've seen people go to the little deli and get like a chicken sandwich and with the sides, drink, walk around the store, eat it, and then leave the little container sitting on the shelf. They ain't paid for none of that stuff, man. But and you know what? They actually got a term for that. I can't remember what it is, but it's like a specific type of shoplifting where people actually get stuff off the shelf and eat it while they walking around the store, and then just leave it sitting there.
Wow.
Yeah. Like. Yeah.
Never have I ever.
So, no, I ain't never done nothing like that. Cause man, I remember when I was a kid, I think I took like a Tootsie Pop one time when I was like 4. And man, my mama beat the brakes off me. And yeah, I ain't stole nothing since. And and back then I wasn't even thinking it was stealing. I saw a sucker, I wanted it. It was like 25 cents. So I'm like, man, you know what? I wasn't even thinking. It was a chocolate Tootsie Pop. Bam. I still remember the flavor, man. I still remember that whooping too. So, yeah. Hey man, yeah, yeah. You could kind of say I may have been traumatized by that whooping, but
I mean, and that's how we learn.
it's a good
That's how
way.
we learn.
It's a good way.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I like that.
Well, that's
Well,
what's up.
fellas. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
The keys to the kingdom. It's don't do it. Y'all stealing. Stop it.
Stop.
Stop it.
Yeah, and then, if I see you in the store stealing, I'm gonna tell you, you either put it back or you're gonna have to share it with me. No, I'm joking. I'm playing.
Oh God.
Part of the problem. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
I'm playing. I'm bull jabbing. All right, man. That's the end of episode 10 of the I almost said the undrafted podcast. Oh my God, that's my first podcast. Wow. King, do what you do.
What?
Yeah, there you go. All right. So, fellas, this has been episode 10 of the Brothers Being Brothers podcast. Y'all have any last thoughts or words you want to say to the people?
Drew?
Yeah, definitely, man. Just do this whole podcast, even just us talking. It's still the little girl who was traumatized of taking that video. I was still thinking about it through the whole thing, man. I just want her to know that she is a hero, that she shouldn't feel any regrets or feel any sort of any emotional distress. You did what you needed to do. You shined the spotlight on it. So in our book, or I can say for me, and probably my guys here too, in our book, you're a hero.
Yeah, I piggyback that. And I think the other girl I was talking about was a different. I think she was the niece to the actual woman who had the official film or the official video for it. But her feeling like she did the right thing, yeah. I mean, that's a true testament to some kind of good upbringing or some kind of good innocence. And I hope she doesn't lose it by dealing with this, but also just prayers for everybody dealing with from the case to George's family to the women involved to DeShaun Watson, us. I mean, just prayers up, man. All of this stuff is so unfortunate, and it's very unfortunate because we're here talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And granted, we can definitely highlight good things that a lot of people are doing, but this is what gets all the press. And so, I definitely an advocate for right and wrong, and I just hope that that case can be treated with love and respect for his family and who he is as a person, and whatever criminal charges are well deserved. So, and that's my 2 cents on it.
I 100% agree. Prayers up for everybody involved, man. Prayers up for the world, man, because we living through some crazy times, bro. Like, what is this? The second or third year in a row? I mean, it's like 80s and 90s babies, bro. We like living through. It's like historical event after historical event after historical event. Like this, bro. These last few years have been insane. So yeah, prayers up for everybody. Prayers up for the world. Treat others the way you want them. Treat others the way you would want them to treat you. We have got to treat each other better, because at the end of the day, fellas, the quality of life in this country and on this planet is not going to improve until we start respecting each other as human beings. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what it is. We have got to respect each other, man, woman, child, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. We got to respect each other. At the end of the day, we all children of God. So with all that, like we always say, do your best and let God handle the rest. Be blessed.
Peace.